The main event of UFC Fight Night 120 or hashtag UFC Norfolk is Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus the former lightweight champion Anthony Showtime Pettis. My name is Flyin Brian J. This video is brought to you by MMAmania.com. Let's start talking about this fight with two things that I think are going to be huge factors. And that's one thing for each guy. The left straight or the left hand period from Dustin Poirier. He does a really good job of pawing a jab out there, then throwing an overhand left, or his counter left straight or left cross is really, really powerful. And I think if he were to get a knockout victory here, it's probably going to be that left hand. Tony Pettis, his most dynamic weapon in this fight is going to be from an orthodox stance, and it's his right leg, like he showed against Jim Miller. He's going to be attacking Dustin Poirier's left side. I think he'll do that early. He's going to be attacking the body and the head, and normally Poirier does a really good job of blocking whatever's there. Body shots with the elbow, head shots with the forearm. I think that Tony's going to be throwing them kicks to those areas without a real care of if they land or not, because if Poirier were to block it, he's hitting that power arm of Poirier, and that would diminish Poirier's ability to, like I said, finish the fight with his most powerful weapon. Of course, Tony has a severe detriment in his game, which is that he doesn't do well when he's pressured. Mostly, he doesn't do well when somebody pushes him up against the cage and doesn't take him down. Just dirty boxes him against the cage like Randy Couture used to do. Because if you take Anthony Pettis down, you better be ready for armbar submission and triangle attempts off of his back, because he is really good with them there. As Pettis showed against Jim Miller, he hasn't really lost a quickness. There was a while there where I questioned his fire, his resolve, his want to fight. Once he made it to the top of the mountain and became the lightweight champion, he seemed to, not have that hunger. But against Jim Miller, his kicks that from that right side, like I already mentioned, he could hit Poirier's arm with, or body or head. He was throwing that thing extremely quick against Jim Miller. And when it was slapping against Jim Miller's body and arm and head, whoo, that was some stank. He put some stank on those kicks, and I think that could really pay dividends here, that he hasn't lost a step. For a while there, he was at 145 pounds, which didn't suit him. His only finish to strikes ever was against Max Holloway 2 fights ago, partially because he was diminished, partly because, wow, Max Holloway is a beast, right? But Tony, he has been focusing on getting stronger for 155 pounds while keeping his quickness. You look at his Instagram, it's all over it. That's really all that it's focused on. And him having that quickness gives me hope that he can win this fight by keeping the fight on the feet, angling out when Poirier were to try to corral him. Let's go talk about Poirier again. I've been neglecting him a little bit. Poirier is a really good pressure boxer. He's got a really intelligent lead hand. He'll throw hooks, double jabs like I mentioned. He'll attack his opponent's lead leg with low kicks, and of course his left hand. He does good at pressuring them into tight spots so then he can get them up against the cage and then rip hooks, similar to like what John Lineker would do. But Poirier is not that good at just holding his opponents against the fence and really punishing them there, winning rounds that way, really frustrating them. He doesn't do that really well. He does sometimes go for takedowns, but he's not that great with those either. And like I mentioned, I don't think it would behoove him to get Pettis to the ground, because Tony is so quick with submissions off of his back, throwing up triangle attempts and arm bars like he did against Jim Miller. In the end, guys, this fight is minus 120 for Pettis, plus an even 100 for Poirier, and it's a tough fight for me to call. I'm gonna lean pretty Tony because he has more avenues to victory. He could win this fight via submission, even if it happens to be off of his back or from a guillotine like he did against Gilbert Melendez when Poirier tries to hit a takedown, really pressure Pettis. I think that Tony could lock in a guillotine, or again, if he's off his back, throwing up a triangle or something like that. And on the feet, I do believe that Pettis' quickness with his kicks at range is going to be a big factor here, kicking that power arm of Dustin Poirier. Poirier could get a finish, but like I said, Pettis has only been finished one time in his career via strikes, and it was a little bit because he was depleted, and then it was a lot from body damage from Max Holloway. I don't think that Poirier is going to be attacking the body too much here, and I lean Anthony Pettis to get a decision victory, but not much confidence there. Tell me who you're picking in the comment section down below. Please give the video a thumbs up. My goal will be 12, and I'll see you in my next video. Namaste.